We are understanding, if I say applied mindfulness based on the teaching of Patanjali was a great master, the father of Eastern psychology, and I'm muting it, so it's okay. So, the first sutra, we understand that yoga is a discipline and education of the mind. What is that discipline by which we get rid of our suffering? Anxiety, duality, conflict, problems, they happen in the mind, and the solution has to be found in the mind. Second sutra, the master says, why don't you empty the mind first? Sometime it happens. You wake up in the morning, you look at your living room, drawing room, and bedroom. You say, "Oh, let us rearrange, reorganize everything," and then we say it looks very nice. So that is what we are going to do. The third sutra says, when you empty the mind, the knowledge of the reality is revealed. So, two words, there is a revelation, and you acquire the knowledge from outside. We acquire the knowledge of physics, chemistry, astronomy, how to cook, how to do, face pack to look beautiful. Everything is coming from outside, acquired knowledge. So there are two parts in mindfulness. One is that you acquire the knowledge from a teacher, but the goal is the revelation of a knowledge. You are absorbed into the highest state of meditation, and you're just sitting and the knowledge reveals in you. That knowledge we are talking about. And that knowledge brings an end to the suffering. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't apply the intellect and the mind. It doesn't mean that we don't apply the reason and the logic to have a clarity of understanding. My master used to say that you are fool. You ignore your mind. Means you bypass the mind without knowing. And because you are fool and you ignore the mind, so you are happy. That is why we say, we have a proverb, ignorance is bliss. You see that? But we say ignorance is suffering. It is building the stress and the suffering inside you. And the awakened one transcends the intellect. Do you understand? Transcending the intellect, bypassing the intellect. I'll give you very practical things that you do every day and still you miss it. No, it is not a lecture, academic lecture, intellectual exercise. So I always add something by which you should understand, you should contemplate and reflect. Knowledge is must to succeed in meditation, but practice should go together. If practice is not done, if practice is done without, hey, I was waiting for Dr. Mead to come and listen to my gossip. So she has just joined. How are you, Dr. Mead? Good. So we were talking about one, the fool is always happy, and the awakened one is always happy. Those who are in the middle, they suffer. Oh, I have a lot of problems, anxiety and duality. I have a lot of problems. Why the fool enjoys? because they ignore the intellect completely. That is why we have a proverb, ignorance is bliss. But we in yoga and mindfulness, we say ignorance is suffering. We should hammer the intellect, understand everything about our life clearly. And then we realize the intellect cannot solve existential problems of our, you see that? It cannot solve the existential problems. Anxiety, duality, my honey is not listening to me. Why they should listen to you? Why don't you listen to yourself? So simple. So I have to transcend the intellect. I briefed it. So knowledge and practice both are important. Say, for example, now a lot of people, you close your eyes and focus on the breath, and you continue focus on the breath, and after a few sessions, now you see the God hallucination because you don't have the right knowledge. I must know clearly. So now what is happening? We ignore completely something that should be understood clearly through the mind. One example. I believe that you keep your smartphone nearby on your bed when you sleep. Maybe you put it into the aeroplane mode. Now, in the middle of the night, you wake up. Your hand goes in search for the phone. John is smiling. It means it happens to you. Or maybe anything. Or, if you don't keep the phone beside, leave that. Take another example. You have an urge to go to the restroom. You wake up. You know where is the restroom. You go there, pee and return. In that process, if there is a darkness in the room, you switch on the light. You go to the restroom, switch on the light, perform your action and return. Forget about even phone. You wake up in the middle of the night and you see what is the time. Right? Something like those activities. But you don't forget yourself. You don't search yourself. Why? Because you don't forget. Are you getting it, what I'm saying? You don't reason where I am. Your mind and intellect search for the smartphone, the restroom, the switching on the light, the moment you wake up in the middle of the night. You don't reason where I am because you don't forget that I exist. Am I clear? Do you apply the reason? Do you ask unnecessary question where I am? The moment you wake up, you know you are. We forget this. But we don't know who we are. That is the problem. We know I am. I know I exist, but I don't know who am I. Are you getting it? I know. Come on, I know I am, but I don't know who I am. The master says you should know who you are. As long as we do not know, it is known as the ignorance. Ignorance means the incomplete knowledge. Not complete knowledge. I know something about me, but I don't know who truly I am. Are you getting it? Who truly I am. So in the third sutra, the master says, when you empty the mind in and absorbed in deep meditation, the knowledge of the reality reveals in the mind. That is known as awakening. Take another example. If I say you all after 200 years, you will all go to heaven, you don't believe it. Question is, if I ask you, why don't you believe it? Both are belief. Whether you believe it, it is also a belief. You don't believe it, that is also a belief. We don't know what is going to happen after 200 years. Who lives after 200? Now I'm explaining again from the principles of this Eastern wisdom. So we should sharpen our intellect with the right understanding, with the proper understanding of who am I. So now I come to the principle explained elsewhere by another master. We work at 3 levels. One is known as mithyatma. Mithyatma means the false self. I'll explain you. Second is known as gaunatma. It is known as secondary self. Third is known as mukhyatma, real self. What is false self? Briefly, understand by clarity and understanding. What this body is made up of? Matter. Are you right? Am I right? The body is made up of matter, carbs, fat, protein, minerals. We say, no, you should take these food supplements in the form of a mineral to keep your physical well-being. The body is made up of matter. Clear? Sense organ, this eye, ear, taste, is also a matter. If the body is made up of matter, that includes my 5 sense organs, physical. Huh? That is also made up of matter. Am I clear? Now we know the principle, the like attracts like. So these sense organ, when it looks at the object and people and the thing outside in the world, it has a liking, it has a dislike. It is by default. Maybe first time you have seen me. Example. First time you have seen me, looking at this beard guy, and you develop liking for it. By default. There is no reason. Are you getting it? You go somewhere to the mall and you see, oh, this dress is very good. Do you put any reason? That happens by default. Why it happens by default? The like attracts the like. Matter, these sense organs are made up of matter. The matter has to like the matter. But I'm different from it. There comes the problem. The liking causes the attachment. Disliking causes the detachment. And if it causes the attachment, that continuously happens in the mind through the thinking. That thinking becomes the desire, and desire causes the suffering, because I find that desire is desire to project happiness in a particular thing where it is not that desire leads to delusion, and that delusion is always present in my mind. If you don't understand, send the email so I'll make it understand clear. Now, in that delusion, I claim I am the body, and that is the false self. Huh? I explained the entire process. I know Michelle was just saying that I put a lot of stuff on the face. You are always beautiful, even if you don't put it anything. I will learn. You're always. You see that? So, Master is not saying that don't put it. Master is saying only that I should maintain my awareness that I am not the body. Body is my instrument. I'm using the car as an instrument. I have parked the car in my garage. Should I remain attached to it? So, because in delusion, I claim, intellect, I in the intellect claims I am the body, that is known as the false self. With a wrong notion, I claim that I am the body. Are you the body? Are you sure? We have to reflect it again and again. In deep sleep, you exist. No body, no mind. First proof. First understanding. In deep sleep, no body, no mind. The moment you wake up, then you know you had a sound sleep, and the sleep, there was no body in the mind, and you still exist. Are you clear? I'm giving very simple principles. So now see that first delusion, I am the body. Second delusion, identification of this body with others. What is the delusion? You see that when you are aware of the delusion, you just play a role. Finished. You see that what is the secondary delusion? The secondary self, that I am at present is the teacher. You all are students. The reference point is the body. Are you getting it? Am I a teacher first, or am I a man first? Am I a human being first? Without a human being, I cannot be a teacher. I became teacher. I am a human being. You are a human being first, then you became husband, wife, son, daughter, teacher, professor, employer, employee, etc., etc., etc. Am I clear? That is the secondary self. Why don't you listen to me? I'm your husband. That is the problem. I became husband and I'm acting as if I'm a born husband or a born wife. Once it goes into your head and the mind is clear, you will never enter into any kind of a conflict and duality and a reaction. Why? How? So I do not remain as a husband. No. Before honey, I am a husband. I am ready. Let me play my role, perform my role of a husband as best as possible. When I am a teacher, do you see? Do I waste any time in a single minute? I act as a teacher. After the session is over, who cares? Teacher. I don't care, teacher. I'm the craziest guy. I leave the burden because that builds the ego. Are you understanding that? Dr. Mead, you're a professor. Act as a professor in the college with the students. And throw that becoming. God. And knows for so many years. I don't care. What is that? 2 point. False self. False self identification with the body. Sorry. Liking, disliking, attachment, desire, delusion. I am the body. We don't recognize I am the body, but it is happening inside my mind all the time. How come? Your dear and the near one looks at you with a big face. You claim you are the body. You see what happens to you. You should be laughing. I'm not the body. Come on. If you're keeping a big face, keep it. Thank you very much. Do you see that? It happens in a second. But to reach to that state of mind that separates I am the body delusion, need practice, meditation. So mind lives in that heightened state of awareness. Very first, I don't remember. If Anne remembers, we had in Princeton with Debris Studio. I had a workshop and organized it. There were all women, and I was talking about love, and some women took that love as the physical level, and they said, one woman said, "Are you crazy?" So my instant response is that I'm more crazy than you think. I'm not explaining what you think. I'm explaining what the masters think in order to move to the state of higher state of mindfulness. That is what I'm explaining. I have nothing to do. You see that? You shed all the roles. You play the role and be happy. Are you understanding? Hollywood actor plays a role of a criminal. Once he has given the plot, so we always get a plot of the scene to act. Act fully. And finished. But if you don't do it, the secondary self takes over. That causes a lot of problem. Do you have problem with me? No. Maximum you will leave the session. You don't have a problem with those who are too far from you. You always have a problem with the near and dear ones because of the secondary self. You claim you love and still you have a problem. Why? Because of the secondary self. Because of these labels. Performing the roles beautifully, these actors gets Oscar award. And what we get? Stress, suffering, divorce, anxiety, reaction. What kind of a life we are living? I'm not saying masters are saying. I'm passing on this knowledge to you. I'm not saying. You have to reflect on. So the two self, the Gonatma means the secondary self and false self. Mukhyatma, the real self, is pure consciousness. This is what our master says. As we go deeper, we will realize that yes, what they are saying is right. Real self is pure consciousness. That pure consciousness, which we say real self, has 5 attributes: truth consciousness, pure awareness, permanent happiness, love, and wisdom. Who doesn't have it? No, that's the wrong question. Everyone has it. It is a common element. 2 examples I gave, and then we will do the practice. First example, water. Water is an essence. Similarly, consciousness is an essence. The real self is at the center. Water is at the center of an ocean. Waves, forms, foams, clouds. Flood, tsunami. You have a flood, remove the water. Where is the flood? You see, waves are there. Remove the water, show me the waves. No, just think of it. The masters are pointing us to use this intellect so that we can easily transcend the intellect. Yeah, so I'm giving those very real life examples. The wave is in appearance, but inside it is the water. Flood is in appearance, but it is the water. Cloud is in appearance, but one common element is water. So Girish is in appearance, consciousness, one real self. Dr. Mead is in appearance, but one consciousness. Michelle is in appearance, but one common element. Sophie is in appearance, but one common element. John is in appearance, but one common element. Anne is in appearance, but one common element. Discovery of that common element, all pervading consciousness, is the goal of meditation. It's not a big deal. It is easy to understand. You have a golden earring. Last point. You have a gold earring, nose pin, what we say necklace. Show me the earring in that gold. It is essentially gold. Necklace in appearance, but actually it is gold. Are you getting it? So simple. Nose pin. It is essentially gold, but because of the name and the form, I say it is nose pin. Because of the name and the form, you are saying this is Girish. But the essence is that is our real self. Okay, you will object to it. Okay, show me the show me the gold. Show me the name and the so the you gold biscuit, but it has a name and the form. Where is the gold? Don't tell me it is a gold biscuit. The mind cannot see that real consciousness. That is why we have to transcend the mind. Are you getting it? So that is why we say, I started with, that in deep meditation, the knowledge of the reality is revealed within me. And the moment it is revealed, you are awakened, you see that happiness is within you. Now you're not looking for that happiness outside. You are not looking for love outside. You are not looking for wisdom outside. Then what happens? Example. My mind always goes to example with the honey. The honey is upset, but what is happening inside you? Happiness. You don't enter into duality. He or she is upset, you express happiness. Depending on the situation, you respond, you don't react. You don't fall into anxiety. You don't react. Why? Because you have left the secondary self and the false self. The life changes. That is what happened to Buddha. That is what happened to our great masters. And that is what it can happen to us also. Why? One common element, water. One common element. We all are essentially made up of one common element. I'm not saying God. I'm not teaching you any religion, dogma, belief, cult, so that you should follow me. Never follow me. If you follow me, then you are not a seeker. You will never succeed. You have to understand. You have to contemplate. You have to reflect. You have to practice. 99% of the responsibilities lied with you to find yourself. Why? Who are you? You have to find yourself. I'm just a point. Why should I attend my sessions? Let us do the practice first. Then you'll think of this. So eyes are closed. Stage 1. Step 1. Position of the body is comfortable and the mind is looking inside. Mind is looking inside. Where inside the heart or the head, what it is looking, you see the emptiness or darkness. That is enough. And in that space, in that darkness, you become aware of a point. And that point, you will discover it is calmness. Live into that awareness of the calmness. Am I saying you to do such a difficult practice? No. Then the second step is being comfortable. Look at the neck joint. Be there. Who is there? You are aware of the neck joint. You feel the sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. I give you a glimpse, what reveals. Look at the shoulder joints, just be there as if it is a waves. And then you see inside. Sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. The entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. How simple it is. And being carefree. Am I wave? Am I cloud? Am I flood? These are the thoughts that enters into the mind. No thought is me. So, what I should do? I should separate all the thoughts, images, and experiences at present from myself. What do you mean? How to separate it? The way when you see the birds are flying, where? In the sky. Same way, these thoughts are flying in the mental space. You see, there is a limitation of the intellect. I cannot express it, but it is a fact in the truth. Another example, surface water in an ocean, you throw the stone, disturbances. Throwing the stone, desire, causes thinking, and deep inside the same water, calm. So, deeper layer of the mind is never disturbed. That is what is being carefree. So the stage one is complete. The stage two is all about purifying the mind and moving the mind within. So look inside the forehead in the space, become aware of the point of calmness, and then start breathing from the ribs. Quick, short, and playful breath. You are playing with the breath. I'm doing with you. Continue, play full breath. You're playing with the breath. Playing with the breath. With eyes closed. And stop this. On some days, the mind will receive this step beautifully. 100% stillness remains in the body. On the other days, the body moves. Why? Because of the mind. Because of the mithyatma, the false self. Don't worry. Just continue the practice and you will discover. And now start inhaling deep, silent, and slow into the belly, then into the rib cage through both the nostrils. In that stillness of the body, while exhaling, start the humming sound, looking deep inside the forehead. Remember, your inhalation is always deeper, longer, silent. Don't be in a hurry. If you are in a hurry, it means mind is taking over you. Then why? Because I am the body. Continue. Stop the humming, but continue deep, silent, slow breathing so that we are going to check the mind. If the mind is living within, or it is still outside. When you inhale, move the mind from the crown of the head to the tailbone inside the spine, looking into the space. And when you exhale, the mind is moving from the tailbone in the space to the crown of the head. So, two things: deep silence, slow breathing, and the mind is moving with the breath. Third thing, the mind and the breath is moving in the spine, in the space. Now, the moment you start inhaling, you see the space, you drop Om Shanti. Your breath is continuing. You see the space, again you drop Om Shanti. You see the space, Om Shanti 5 times during inhalation with the space. And 5 times Om Shanti with the space. I'm changing the practice gradually. As you go deeper, I have a lot of stuff to help you, your mind. So during inhalation, the mind is moving from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and in that space you are dropping Om Shanti. Then you recognize the space Om Shanti 5 times. And while breathing out during exhalation, mind is rising up and you still drop Om Shanti 5 times. Not only it is a practice, but it helps you to check if the mind is living within. What will happen? You will feel as if you are too far from the body. And when the mind is too far from the body, what will happen? I'm too far from my car. Car is parked outside. The body is parked outside. The mind will not enter into the body. If it is not, then you'll feel the tingling variety of sensation. Recognize them, accept them, and continue the journey. Beautiful. I appreciate you all. Doing good. The outer level is to maintain. The mind will damn care the body. In a sense, that body will maintain its steadiness, and it will deepen the experience of sensation, tingling. Sometimes you feel sweating, heat, lightness, as if body is not there. So don't start thinking out of the body experience. When one is out of the body, no experience. So don't go into those flowery words in the thought. Be authentic. And now leave it. Look at the head and the neck. Mind is aware of the head and the neck all around. Be there, feel, and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now look inside the head and the neck. The When you look inside the head and the neck, recognize there is some sensation inside the head and the neck. And at the same time, you also experience the space. The sensation inside the head and the neck, which is separate from the sensation on the skin of the body, is signature of calmness. You are consciously experiencing calmness. And the space within is signature of quietness. We'll understand in the following sessions. Look at the right arm outside, as if the mind is moving, touching every cell of the right arm, from the shoulder to the fingertips. And as it touches, you have a variety of experiences. You are not swayed by them. You just experience, recognize, accept. So that I compress as sensation, relaxation, stillness. At the same time, start looking inside the right arm. Be there. Just be there. Sensation and the space, calmness and quietness. At the left arm, outside, outside. You see, we say two things exist, right arm, left arm. They both are opposite to each other, like the two waves of the same water in an ocean. And experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Inside, inside, calmness and quietness. Do you see calmness and quietness common element inside as we make the mind subtle, subtler, subtlest? You find the common element. Middle portion of the body outside. There is a rib cage, there is a belly, there is a spine at the back. Experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look inside the heart or the belly. Same sensation in the space. We're educating the mind. Calmness and quietness. The right leg. Outside, outside sensation, relaxation, stillness. Why we say that? We are settling the mind. We are saying to the mind, I'm really good, you are good to me, but I'm fed up with the same experiences every time, and it reverses. I'm experiencing pleasure and the pain, anger and the reaction, response and the reaction, days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months, years after years. And mind, you say that I will change by repeating the same thing. No, I have to look inside. When you look inside, you experience calmness and quietness. That is the message Master gives. Outside the left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Inside, calmness and quietness. The entire body. Entire body outside, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And inside, calmness and quietness. Look inside the heart. Maybe let's just look at the breath. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. You feel the sensation of the breath that is also common. So we add one more common element. When the breath goes in and you feel the breath is going in, just drop Shantoham. Are you aware of the phrase when I say drop Shantoham, like a drop of water that merges into the space? When the breath comes out, Shantoham, means you don't leave any breath unconsciously. You are maintaining your awareness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences, followed by questions. Not question about what is happening to COVID-19, but pertaining to meditation. What we have done. How are you, John?
Okay, I'm trying very hard to transcend the mind,
My goodness, why? How?
but I'm not doing a very good job of it. I keep thinking of other things. I keep thinking of Trump and crazy stuff like that. And I don't want to think about Trump.
I always gave you indirect hint. That's why I said I'm not going to answer COVID-19. Sometimes we understand what is happening. One thing, my friend, how the intellect or the mind can transcend by thinking. I give you a simple understanding. Do not think. I say, do not think, and you say, I'm not thinking. You are already thinking. That's why you told me that I'm thinking. Are you getting it? So, transcending takes place. What is needs to be done? The mind remains in that state of quietness, calmness. In that silence, the intellect is naturally transcended. Tell me how to transcend this mind in deep sleep. It happens in the state of doing nothing. So, our goal and objective is that let us reach to that state of mind where it is not working on me. Where the car is not working on me. And when that happens, you simply transcend the body. I think you have few minutes, so I will just add one more thing. When the one day the body is in a perfectly the state of well-being, you don't find any part of the body is complaining. You are already transcended the body. Because the mind is not listening to us, we are the slave to the mind. We have to work on the mind until it reaches to a state of perfect quietness. You transcend the mind, the knowledge will be rewarded. But by thinking, it will never happen. You got it. How are you, Anne?
Yeah, I feel good. My mind is blank.
Fine. That's good. It is happening. It is happening. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing well. Just dealing with some body aches and stuff like that. But otherwise, like John, I have a lot of thoughts, but I remember a long time ago you said, let it flow like a river. Don't try to stop them. And then just circle, like let things go. And then you kind of come back to the practice. So definitely like him, it's hard for some of us not to have thoughts. There are times where I'm very much aware of just my body and the breath and the practice. And then there are times where I just feel like my mind is definitely pulling my attention elsewhere. So I know what you would say. It just comes with practice.
Yeah. Beautiful way to explain it. But I'm referring again to what we discussed today together. The moment I am the body, then only you have a thought. Or when you are a secondary self, then only you have a thought. Can you give me any thought without an object? I will leave everything. All this teaching. Thought is equal to mathematical equation. Thought equal to object plus I am. I am happy. Happiness is an object plus I am. Thought. I am stressed. Stress plus I am. Thought. I am thinking about my dear president. So, dear President, plus I am is a thought. No, I'm just, just what that I let him do his work, especially in meditation. I'm not saying anything in favor. Right? You see? Just enjoy. So when this I am plus object means with reference to the body and the mind, that is the problem. Let me become aware. Gone. How are you, Sophie? No, unmute, please. I'm not listening to you.
I am good. I think I felt very calm and calmer. Sometimes I guess I sit in the position and I'm a little bit stiff, and
That's
then
good. Maintain that stiffness.
it's good to maintain.
Yeah,
But
in
then
meditation.
during the meditation, it's like the body relaxes, so it unstiffens. But I stay in the same position, but it unstiffens.
Unstiffen, yes. I think you are, yeah, go ahead.
And so my knee was reporting, but it was reporting, that's all.
That's beautiful. You should understand that when we are doing any practice of meditation, we experience variety of sensation that includes the total stiffness and rigidity in the body. Other feel maybe heat and the sweating in the body, or coolness, or tingling, or numbness. Don't do anything. Recognize, accept them, continue.
Right.
It is only a movement of the mind from outside to inside. Beautiful. How are you, Mead? Unmute first. Unmute first. I don't hear you. You have to unmute your... Yes.
Oh, I am feeling very happy to be here with all of you again.
Beautiful.
And yes, and it's helping me to be calm again. There's a little bit of anxiety right under my sternum here,
Yeah.
but it's starting to rest a little more.
Yes. That's
But
beautiful.
I feel the joy of being in your presence, all of you.
Ah, that's beautiful. I appreciate it. That's good. Yes, I know that you have a very you pay too much of attention on understanding, and remember this, my friends, that knowledge is power, and applied knowledge is meditation in Eastern wisdom. Simple. So if there is no understanding how to deal with these thoughts when they enter at the time of meditating, then you get lost. You see that? So the moment any thought enters into the mind and the mind is looking inside, you are aware of the thought. What this beer guy is saying, I have to follow that. I have not to follow this thought. Simple. Only during the meditation, I'm saying. You're still your master. You can make a right choice. You can make a right choice.
Oh.
So, any question you'd like to ask me? Or we will say goodbye, namaste. We will meet again. I'm going to send you that file, audio file, again.
I just wanted to say that Sophie's cat is the cutest. The cat's in meditative state.
Ah, that's
Love.
The cat doesn't like humming.
ah.
He runs